Amazon Delivery Service Partners are hiring full-time delivery drivers to meet growing customer demand. Receive compensation of at least $20 per hour at select stations, plus benefits and a sign-on bonus of $1,000 from participating DSPs if you apply now. No delivery experience required. Must be 21 years or older. Terms apply. Apply today at amazon.com/driver. That's amazon.com/driver.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Sales from the cheap.
We couldn't afford a new intro, so I just play that one now.
Yeah, it's just, he already has it on the button ready to push. It's not that hard. Doesn't take any extra effort. Hey, everybody, this is Eric
Tales from the Cheap.
Tales from the Cheap. We should be better at this.
Yeah, what's going on? I'm Chris Donovan. Thanks for listening, for one, because it's just the one person listening. Thank you so much.
Yes.
What's your name again?
Tom. Yeah, Tom. We would like to thank you out there for being a loyal listener. Hey man, we are currently, I got the kids home and I work from home, probably 2 to 3 days a week anyway. But working from home because it's a cold day. Not snow, not wind, not nothing. It was just so cold that they were worried the roads would be too icy and problematic. So they just said, how about just no one go to school or work today? Which is kind of awesome and amazing, and something I've never experienced before. Living in Southern California, just like the concept of the weather will dictate how your day goes is still mind-blowing.
In here in SoCal, it's more like it's not the weather as much. It's like the wind or fires. Like if it's bad, and even if it's bad weather or bad air quality, you just won't go outside at school.
Except for, but here's my problem with that though is, even the fires didn't really cancel much because I got to tell you, I did wine dinners out in California, like out in Santa Barbara before, where the hills were on fire, but the wine dinner was still on, and people were literally like posing for photos with the flames in the background and stuff. Like it didn't change a damn thing. And so I just basically they just said, hey, no school tomorrow, and to the kids, and my wife works at the school, so that means no work for her. And they said, they asked, well, is it going to be like remote? Are we going to do anything now? Nah, just consider it a day off. And everyone's like, oh, cool. And that's just how it's gone. We had another day like that earlier in the month because of a really cold day. It's like just kind of cool. It's like a free vacation day.
We had those in Washington quite a bit. Now they allot for them, like you start school a little earlier or you end school a little later. If you used them all up, because my senior year when I graduated, I hadn't taken my finals yet.
Oh, really?
I could have failed my finals, and they would, like, because we accepted a blank book cover or whatever because we had so many snow days that year. They had to have us come back in for 4 days after we graduated.
Oh my God, that would not have worked well for Eric Leckie if they had to have me come back like that. I would have not ended well for anyone.
So I've seen them and used them and had them before, but you hadn't. And I was like coming down here when they said that stuff was canceled one time for wind. I was freaking out a little bit. Like, what wind? Like, is our houses going to start floating around or what? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, exactly. How is wind affecting things? But yeah, no, I get it, because this morning looked out front and just saw the roads just look like a sheet of ice.
Yeah.
And what's funny is because it's not that it really snowed or there was that much precipitation. There was just enough in the air that it hit the ground and just froze and became ice. And so I get it. And all the news is just filled with trucks like crashing into cars on the freeway and stuff. So I do not want to go anywhere that I don't have to. I did venture out yesterday just to get out of the house because I was going stir crazy. Sam's Club. Now, we've had a Costco membership for a really long time. Never had a Sam's Club membership. Sam's Club was doing this thing in celebration of the Super Bowl. And so for like the 2 weeks following the Super Bowl, you can get a year membership for $5.
Whoa.
So I went in on the last day that they had the promotion. I'm like, hey, we have a Sam's Club like a mile away. The Costco's like 3 mile or 4 miles away. So it'd be great to just, if you need something quick. So I'm like, oh, okay, I got it. So I had to venture out yesterday because I was stir crazy, just being stuck indoors all day. And I'm like, I'm going to go out. The roads aren't that bad yesterday. Went out and I had to get out and do my weekly stealing something from a store.
Yes.
So typically what I do is when there's a place where you scan your own stuff, I just skip one thing.
That's all you do now? You're not even
One
like
thing.
trying to be sneaky at all?
No, because this is smarter, because I could with my skills and my ability to talk my way out of stuff. If I got caught, I could play I have no idea what I'm talking. Oh, what? Oh, this fangled damn technology. I'm sorry, I was confused. All of that. You could play it as it was an accident, right? When you shove something down your pants or put it in your pocket and you get caught, there's nowhere to go. So I'm just getting smarter at my old age. I still got to live that thrill, but like when you go to Home Depot, do the self checkout and just one box of screws, don't scan. Pretend like just one box of screws, and you might think it's only $5.99 for the screws. And you're like, exactly. And if you cut off that bill from every time you go someplace, it adds up over the course of the year. And so I went there and didn't scan I think I did a whole block of cheese and something else I didn't scan.
Okay, so hold. There's two things I have to say to you.
Mm-hmm.
First one is this. Oh, it'll take forever. That was bad timing.
You want to set yourself back up again?
I don't know. I might actually not work at all. Come on, you could do it. All right, hold on. Let me make it shorter. Okay, let's see. This is great pod.
It's great pod. I'm actually riveted. I want to know what's going to happen next.
Me too, actually. It's kind of fun. Hold on one second. Come on.
I'm not even going to try and bail you out. This is going to be just dead pod air. I love it.
Well, this is my advantage. Did my internet go out? Oh, Eric, I can't hear you anymore. Can you hear me?
Oh man, I'm sorry, Chris. Yeah.
Did this stop recording? Is this thing? Oh, it's broken. Oh, I'm gonna have to hang up right now and stop recording this whole thing.
No, we're gonna miss all that
no
comedy
show this week.
Oh man,
you sound so effing domesticated. We have a Home Depot 1 mile from our house, but the Lowe's is like 3.5. So when it's rainy and snowy out,
well, yeah, but I mean, hey, listen, for $5 to have a membership.
No, it's good because they have gas, right?
And they have gas too, and so does Costco. And so it's just one of those, like, when you don't feel like doing the whole Costco thing. And also the Sam's Club is way less crowded than Costco by like 1,000,000%. So if it's one of those, you're like, listen, I need like 8 things. I don't need to do the full $500 Costco shopping trip. I'm trying to keep it like, I just need a few things and I don't feel like driving. You can get in and out. So,
well, we used to have a Sam's Club, and they have some pretty cool apps where you can, unless you're buying alcohol, you can walk through the store, scan it, pay for it on the app. You just got to walk out and show the phone to the person rather than a receipt.
Yeah, but then how can I steal stuff?
Very easily.
Oh, well, as long as I can do it very easily, because I still want to be a master criminal. I just don't really have the energy anymore.
You can scan it like in the back of the store when nobody's looking, and then like a tool chest or something, and then throw some milk in it or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
And also,
I kind of like just my strategy of skipping one thing. I've even gotten to where if I'm in a crowded,
you're hilarious.
If I'm in a crowded area, like let's say there's lots of people around, right?
Yeah.
There's the very familiar scan beep sound, right? And so I'll go through and they'll notice if you swipe by something, it doesn't beep. I've even gotten good enough to where I make a beep sound sometimes for my stuff. Beep.
Wow.
And you just move it because no one's expecting someone to say the word beep. So all you just need it to be is passable. I'm not trying to be the guy from Police Academy that can do all the impressions. I'm not trying to nail it, guys. I'm just trying to, you're scanning and you're going to non-scan an item. And as it goes by, you go beep. And you just keep going and you load up your car. And then you could say, oh, I scanned it. What, did something not happen? You have an automatic out and it saves you money for every grocery trip. So on next week's podcast, I'll talk to you about how to slowly steal matches from a restaurant to build up your match supply.
Oh man, I thought we were gonna do condiments from restaurants. Dang it.
Well, that would be Tales from the Cheap.
Right?
Yes,
All right,
that's
so
exactly it. By the way, see, we wound up doing a Tales from the Cheap segment. I literally just wound up doing one unknowingly.
stealing one.
I go to places where they have automatic scanners and I scan one less item than I'm purchasing. And that's my Tales from the Cheap. So there you
Want
go.
to know my tales from the cheap?
Yes, what is it?
I'm going to NASCAR this weekend, and I've never paid for a NASCAR ticket in my life.
Holy crap, man. Is it in Fontana?
It is back in Fontana this year. They had a race in LA, which was really dope. At the Coliseum, they built a track in it a couple weeks back, and then they had Daytona last weekend. But this weekend, they come back. It's been like 2 years away, so I'm excited to get to go to NASCAR. Now, it's usually a boring race. It's just an oval, but to see them live and shit's dope, man. They're so cool. So
yeah, I've never been to one, and I actually kind of would like to.
You have like 5 tracks around you, don't you?
Yeah, we have a really, really big one. The Texas Motor Speedway is literally like, 5 miles away or something like that. So it's closer than the Costco. No, the Texas Motor Speedway is not that far away, and that'd be a bitchin' place to go see a show. So tell me about it. Like, what is the? By the way, I heard that there's some weird Grand Marshal pace car.
What do
you know what I heard? Oh, I made a joke on Twitter.
I saw the joke, but I didn't get it.
Oh, Albert Pujols is going to be the pace car for this race.
Oh, in Fontana.
Yes.
Oh, and he's supposed. Okay, and you made a slow joke.
Yes, because he's slow and always hit it. So my joke is Albert Pujols is in the pace car for the Fontana race, and I said the car will only go 10 miles an hour and will somehow hit into a double play.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, man.
For any baseball fans. Hey, no, I'm excited to go because it's been, like I said, they took it away from the SoCal racetrack like 3 years ago, and then COVID and all that crap. They shortened the season and stuff. So it hasn't been here for like 3 or 4 years, and they changed the rules about 3 and 4 years ago.
Yeah, now the cars have to drive in reverse. It's crazy, guys. Crazy.
They have to use blinkers, and it's just they let the leave on the left blinker the entire time.
And just to throw off like your competitor, you'll switch to a right blinker so that they go, what? And then they crash into the wall. And that's how you get rid of the people behind you.
No, but they changed it to be stages. So it's not just like, oh, here's 125 laps, because in an oval track, you get 125 laps. You're just going around in circles, people going to the pits. No big deal. No big deal. No big deal. Nobody's turning anything but left. But when you stop it and make everybody get close again and do a restart and try to jockey for position to try to get stage points and stuff, it's actually been more competitive. So I'm excited to come and see it live that way.
And like I said, everyone who has gone has always told me that it's really cool.
Blast.
It's one of those sports that's great to see live.
Yeah.
And it's
my
a real
kids
blast.
love it.
It's kind of like going to boxing. Have you ever been to a big boxing match? Like if you go to a live boxing match, it's really, really intense to be there. Hockey is another one that I think is so much better live than it is on TV.
Baseball is definitely way better live than it is on TV.
Yes. Now, oddly enough, football, the exact opposite. Football, give me a great big screen TV, some buffalo wings, and all kinds of treats, and let me sit in like a recliner in my living room and just watch it. That's way better. Unless
you're in a suite, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Unless you just want to be there like I do usually. But yeah.
So tell me, can you reveal why you weren't having to pay for these tickets?
Oh, it's funny because I moved to California, in 2001.
Yep.
I worked at the Grove in Anaheim, and the people at the Grove in Anaheim that I worked with also worked at the races every year, quote unquote. They had 2 races a year at that time. And they worked, and they basically got hired for the weekend. So they would take the days off of their regular job, go out there and work the weekend, and you get paid bank for like 5 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something like that. So I got in with that when I first moved here. And then, so I worked the first 3 years. And after you're done working, which is before the race, because everybody's watching the race, you get to go watch the race. It's pretty dope. So once that fell through, I was working at X1039, free tickets through the station.
Yep.
I have an event there. What happens when I get fired from there? I married my wife, who works at a radio station and who can get us tickets. So beside that, also, we got invited to a couple like parties like in the pits before that were like special things. So it's just, I got lucky. And honestly, I didn't even really pay attention to NASCAR until I moved to California. But yeah, no, it's dope. It's going to be fun. Hopefully I get to maybe sneak into the pits and steal another golf cart. Have you heard that story?
Yes, I have. You told me that one before. That one's pretty fun. Younger Chris and younger Eric. Jesus, that's trouble brewing.
Yeah, especially when we go snowboarding and then we convince a checkout clerk at I think it was a Stater Brothers to call our girlfriends at the time and tell them that we're in the hospital. You remember that?
Yeah, yes. And like, hey, they happened to get into an accident together. It was, horrific. They're going to be lucky if they keep their legs.
One
oh my God,
talk,
what? No, they're just shitting you. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, that's super cool. I can't wait to hear about that. When is the race?
The race is Saturday. I have tickets for Saturday and Sunday. The big race is Sunday. That's the NASCAR Cup Series. But the Saturday race is also a competitive race, and qualifying and stuff happens. I think of all the sports, like every sports trophy is a cup of some kind. In racing, can we do some sort of wheel? Like I just think a cup. I don't know. I just not a fan of the. You cups. Did what in this cup? And what in this cup? Hey, I want to ask you about vacation stuff. So I'm planning the family's vacation. On vacation? I'm going with you. Where are we going? If you want, we rent an Airbnb. Jamaica. Where? We're out in the Ozarks, so we're going out to Missouri, and we're gonna go out and like with all the trees. That place isn't real, dude. That's not real. That's a TV show on Netflix with Jason Alexander. Yes, okay, but I have to, Chris. You don't understand. I have to launder $500 million in cocaine money from a drug cartel, and I saw how he did it on the show, so I figure I have to go there as well, so that I can, use all his tips and pointers from the show, right? I mean. Yeah, and I mean, I haven't seen the finale yet, but I'm assuming he moved out if it was real. But no, you're gonna have to, like, I don't know, go to another rich lake. That's what that is, right? It's just we're going out. We're going to the Ozarks. We're gonna stay in an Airbnb like cabin thing. And oh my God, I hope it's the trailers from the movie where it's like three single wide trailers all tore up, just sitting on the edge of the water. That's your Airbnb. But I was gonna ask you. So as I was planning it, and I do this every time that we go somewhere, or whatever, I agonize over the planning stages because my family, they won't put in more than 4.5 seconds of any thought into any of this. They just expect, we're going to go somewhere and dad's going to have all this cool stuff planned. We're going to go do fun stuff. That's because you're anal and that's what you do. Yeah, I get it. But when you go on the trips with the family, do you actually plan the activities, or do you just kind of like, hey, I've booked us a trip to freaking, Barbados and we're just going? Like, do you plan anything? We, if we do, it's like one or two things tops, depending on how long we're there. Like if we went to Hawaii for a week, we plan 2 things. That's it. The rest of the days, it's like, do whatever you want. And if something pops up, hey, we're going to go do that. Same thing in Mexico when we went. But if it's like a weekend, like 3-4 days, we might plan one thing just because, we're already spending money to probably be there. So how do you guys figure out stuff to do? Like, I mean, like, do you just get there and show up and, like, especially if you don't know the area, right? Like, it's an unfamiliar, I mean, I get it if it's a place you go to all the time. Like, I would never plan anything for Vegas because it was like, I go to Vegas so often, I know where everything is. And so I don't really need to plan. I just, whatever, so that's different. I'm talking like, when you're going someplace, if you've never been to Cancun before and you're going to Cancun, do you say, let's plan stuff to do? You just say, I've booked the flight and I booked the hotel. That's all I'm going to do. And when we show up, whatever, like, how do you do it? We did with the last time we did a huge family trip when we drove across the state country to Florida. Sorry, this reminds me of this. I am smart. Okay, anyway. So going to Florida, we had planned to go to Disneyland or Disney World or whatever it's called over there. So that was something we planned. So we planned one day for that, and then we got another day planned for I think it was called Discovery Cove, which is badass, by the way. So we got to go there, and that included like 3 other water parks in the area, and then of course Disney has all these other parks. So we planned literally just Disneyland and the Discovery Cove, and then we went to another water park for like 2 hours one day. We drive around, we find restaurants. We're foodies, so we like to go find places to eat and see, like cool little places. And then you would put it on Converse with us. Yeah, I would. I'd put it on, but yeah, no, it's just easier for us. We like to hang out, pool, chill, movie. Like, we don't have to be out anywhere to just like enjoy not being home. See, and I'm the part thing where it's like, I feel like if I spend all this money, we're going to go do something. If we just sit around and do nothing, because the kids will just start staring at their phones and the wife will start staring at her phone. It'll be one of those where I'm like, if we don't have something to go do, everyone's just going to sit and stare at their phones, and it's going to drive me insane because I get stir crazy, or I'm like, let's do stuff. And Yeah, we usually make it so we have options where we stay, because if you stay at the timeshares like we have, they have like activities each day and they have like pools and kids
Yeah, and that
stuff. So,
especially good for the kids and stuff.
Yeah,
one of the things I looked into that I'd never looked into before as an option, so it had kind of astounded me. Yeah, no, I said I hadn't looked into.
Sorry.
Remember 2003 to 2005, Chris? You don't remember that period?
I don't remember any of those years, actually.
That's a real rough time. So we actually looked into, because the kids really wanted to do like Americana is what they called it, like somewhere that's not a big city in America, like they're thinking in the middle of a national park or in like whatever. So I actually started looking at dude ranches.
God.
Well, it's kind of a cool experience, right? Like you herd of cattle, like city slickers. You stay in the place at night. The food's all catered. It's all inclusive, whatever.
Just go up and visit my family in Washington, dude. You can ride all the horses you want.
Well, I was amazed at how much it cost.
So
I started calling around and getting some quotes and stuff like that. And I thought the first few people were joking. Okay. So for 4 days.
Okay.
And I picked, one in Colorado. I picked one with
4 days to shovel shit, get dirty, and work. Go ahead.
Let's just say it's glamorized cowboy stuff, right? Like they're gonna have you, herd this cattle, 15 miles down this way, and then we'll have this cookout that's all set up for you with the food's catered by a.
So they pussified it.
It's a pussified dude ranch, but it's still enough of a dude ranch where you're like, you're staying in like a glamping tent, but you're not exactly like roughing it, kind of thing. But my point is, it wasn't fancy. It's not fancy by any stretch, but it's just not staying under a tent that you pitched yourself that's really like small. And then like,
well, if you're a cowboy, you'd sleep out under the stars, man.
I guess so. But
also, are you allowed to call it a dude ranch anymore? It's 2022.
That's right. That's actually
what would you call it? A ranch?
I guess. But so it was for those things, and this is a pretty average price. Okay,
four people or one person?
For 4 people. Okay. Well, no, I'll just tell you what the price is per person.
Okay.
Close to $2,800 a night
for one person.
Per person.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you. The cheapest one I found was $1,500 a night per person.
Go fuck yourself.
Wow.
Yes. Insane. And now it looks really cool. Like you see the stuff, you're like, wow, you're kind of in this glamping tent, and the food is like a chef that's going to make like, not fancy food, but just going to do all the cooking for you and all this stuff
in a pot that's going to give you the runs. You're going to have to go shit on a bush, wipe your butt with poison ivy.
Shit on a Bush was the name of my first album with my band.
Go fuck yourself.
So I called. I was so mystified by this. I'm like, no, this has got to be a mistake. It's $2,500 per person for the whole trip, right? Like maybe that's a little bit more believable or something like that. Like, okay, so for a family of 4, that's still expensive, but at least I could, right? Exactly. So I call one of the places and talk to the people, and I say, hey, I say, so just let me get this clear. To travel 500 miles away from my house and to do this thing under the stars and do all this, it's going to cost me 3 times as much as if we would fly. I'd take my family to like Europe on like a European vacation. And there's a long pause, and the lady goes, well, it is all inclusive, sir. We give you lots of stuff. I was like, yeah, but once again, for 1/3 of the price, I could take them to Italy and France for probably 7 to 9 days. And as long as you're on a nice budget, I could do it for 1/3 of the cost.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. Like I said, if you want to do that, I'll just send you up to my family's house up in Washington. You can do all the work you want. They'll let you ride. They even have a bobcat, not a real cat, like a machinery you could drive around and play with. Wow, they have welding stuff. I mean, dude, they have axe throwing. If you really want to have it go out and do something like that, I'll just send
your family will do it for $250 for all 4 total.
Yes. Actually, you just have to basically drink and eat and maybe throw some money at that, and that's about it.
Oh, well,
that's pretty much all their stipulations are.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what I want to get to. You already played the clip once. Play it again. Let's do some SMRT.
I am too smart. I am too smart. SMRT. I mean SMART.
All right, I'm only coming at you with one today because I think we're going to talk about this one. Okay.
Are you afraid? You can only come at me with one? You afraid?
I can only come at you with one, which, by the way, was the name of my second album.
It's also what I told your wife.
Yeah. That's because you only had one ball. Remember? She asked why there wasn't two. You said, I only have one ball. It's going to come at you with one. So this is obviously a little dated, but I had just heard about this story, right? So this is from Thanksgiving, but I had just heard about the story and it made me do a deep dive because I was intrigued. Okay.
You're right. Christopher Columbus did not land at Plymouth Rock. Okay, keep going.
Wow. Thank you for clearing that up. Okay, so here is the title of this story. Thanksgiving dinner with friends ends up with a friendship falling out because the host refused to cook a $200 steak to well done.
What?
Yes, that's the. So let me read this top. It says, I'm going to skip this because the people always do this flowery language at the top. Okay. Yeah. This guy had a friend. He called it a friendsgiving, where, you know, maybe they don't have family to get together, so they just got together as a group of friends. It says it was a group of 10 close friends. The dinner, during the dinner, the host got into a fight with one of his friend's girlfriends over how she wanted her steak cooked, because he is very passionate about how it should be made. So it says he gathered his friends for the Thanksgiving dinner. He bought a strip of A5 Wagyu beef, which is the beef of a Wagyu cattle, which is raised in the Hokkaido prefecture in Japan. It's very expensive. And they said he estimated this one little tiny piece is about $200. So,
wow.
yes. So I'm skipping a bunch. So he prepared the A5 meat. He vacuum sealed it. He did that like sous vide. Have you ever seen that sous vide cooking?
Yeah, I think so. He boiled the meat in a bag and stuff.
Yeah, except for so that gets the internal thing to a perfect temperature, and then you take it out of it, and then you sear it over with some like butter, stuff like that. And you sear it so that it seals everything in, and it supposedly is like the perfect way to cook this or whatever. So he did this, and he cooked it to the perfect amount of steak, and he did everything. So he also, by the way, this is important to the story in my opinion, he also prepared other dishes that were chicken, duck, salmon, and other many ingredients. So this was like a foodie Friendsgiving. Okay. So the pictures of it are like very, extravagant. He had a big fancy dinner and he had prepared all these fancy dishes.
Would you have done this?
Yes. Except I'm not a salmon guy. I've never liked salmon.
Really?
But, I hate salmon. It's too fishy to me. I don't
like no, not the way I cook it. I cook it with some lemon butter and garlic, and I barbecue it in a foil.
You're a foil.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it says.
Okay.
It says the person talking about this, the host, says the average steak for me takes about 4 to 5 hours to prepare and cook, from the sous vide to the cast iron sealing of the juices in to plate. Sometimes I can even take 3 months butter aging or dry aging my meats to be certain they are perfect. So I'm going to stop the story right here for a second.
Wait, because that's got to be a metaphor for something. That can't be what the guy's doing.
Hey, honey, I'm butter aging my meat. What are you doing in the bathroom? Honey, I'm butter aging my meat in here.
Why is your thing in that churn thing?
Honey, I normally dry age my meat, but I needed to butter age it. But so first of all, my first instincts from this guy, before we go further on in the story, because there's a lot more going to happen. Okay. I kind of think this guy is a little douchey. I'm getting a little bit of a douchey vibe, right? Like even though I appreciate that he's trying to throw this really cool dinner, I think you get points for that. I think the type of person who's so much of a foodie that they're doing this kind of like, hey, everybody, I did the steak and I've been preparing it for 3 months. I can think that can come off as a little douchey.
A little, yeah, very. Now, if they did it and just said, okay, this is great, and then did what they cooked everybody's stuff the right way, then it would be no big deal.
Okay, so this is still a quote for him. He says, dry aging my meats, blah, blah, blah. He goes, these were genuine A5 Wagyu steaks, so I only sous vide them and then cut them into 2-inch steaks. They were they were perfectly cooked for one, and I also made jerk chicken, mandarin duck breast, and a nice cut of cherry jalapeno salmon. What he said he made.
So we have some duck breast.
Yes.
Some salmon.
Mandarin duck breast.
I didn't know there was any others. Ooh, jerk chicken. So we got Jamaican. We got a little Orient. I can't say Oriental.
I'll say it for you. I don't care. Oriental. And some cherry jalapeno salmon. and this Wagyu steak. Now, here's the other thing I've noticed.
That
I've been
sounds
reading the
yummy.
story for 2 paragraphs, and there's already been 5 mentions of the fact that it is A5 Wagyu steak. I bet you this guy in every conversation brings up that it's A5.
Well, I mean,
everybody gather around. I know you've been enjoying the salmon and the Mandarin duck breast and the jerk chicken. I want to pay attention, everyone over here, to the A5 Wagyu steak. And if Chris and I were there at this event, we'd constantly be calling it a different number to piss the host off. Like,
oh yeah,
this is some really great A2 steak here, and he'd go, man, no, A5.
I'd be like, hey, hand me some more of the R2 steak, would you, real quick? I love R2
no,
steak.
Chris, this is the D2. Is R2 or D2?
Nah, it's the C3PO.
The entire, once you pick up on the fact that this guy's obsessed with, it's A5, it's A5. You and I would have spent the entire dinner. No, I don't even care how much I liked the steak. I would have been taunting the guy. So I just want to point that out. Like, he comes off as a little bit douche, but I still think he's in a good place. He's prepared this really fancy meal. And you can imagine how much stress the guy was under, probably preparing this Thanksgiving dinner and like cooking for his friends and all this. Okay. So he said, I had quite the spread. And I sous vide them to medium rare, and to be sure the fat was well rendered, because it is an A5 Wagyu steak. See, there it is. He just mentioned it again.
Yeah, he did.
But informed them that if absolutely necessary, I could bring it up to medium on request. But he said because of the cost of the steak and its high-end nature, he would not be cooking it beyond medium. He said, even though there wasn't a big party, there was one person that the host didn't know that well, because it was a new girlfriend of one of his friends whom he invited. So wow, this is set up. So you've already stressed out. You're cooking this big meal. You're obviously kind of a dick about your food because you're over obsessing about it. You invite your friends over. So issue number 1 is that the friend invites a new girlfriend that wasn't announced, and she's a new girlfriend, so it's not like you know her. So that's issue number 1. Second part, she was the first to cut into the steak. Okay, so here's what I'm reading into this, the way the story is told. That he has this big dinner cutout. She races over to cut her thing of the steak and immediately remarks about how you should not see pink meat.
Oh, is that like another metaphor?
That's another metaphor. Honey, the meat's only pink if I dry age my steaks.
You're not supposed to see my pink meat.
So, and this is another quote from the guy. He says, well, I thought to myself, here comes the new girl to the group, and she sees someone she cuts the steak and announces to everyone that it's pink, and I'm trying to get everyone sick by serving undercooked meat. She immediately accuses him of trying to feed everyone raw meat, feeding raw meat, and stresses that the steak should be brown or even brown or black all the way through, or else you will get sick, she says. He says he responded to her with, what do you think he responded with?
You're stupid.
No, I wish he would have. He of course said he reminded her that this is A5 Wagyu steak.
Oh God, you're stupid. This is A5 Wagyu steak.
Guys, lady, hey lady, this is an A5. So he goes, I informed her that this wasn't the case, and that these steaks were actually cooked to the ideal temperature recommended for this steak and for this cut. She immediately demanded that I cook hers until it was brown or black all the way through, and I said, not a chance. So I love that. Now, this is the first time where I'm coming around on this guy. I'm actually now on his side, right? Because once again, imagine you're at this dinner party, you've thrown it, it's extravagant. Your friend's girlfriend, the new girl, the unheard of person,
I don't think they're together anymore. I can guarantee that.
Yeah, right.
You don't want to lose a friend that buys A5
Wagyu steak. Yeah, maybe if he's a real good friend, he'll buy A6. But I love his response. So you could picture her sitting there screaming, because at this point, there's a little bit of an altercation, right? If she's demanding this, she's announcing to everyone, there's a little bit of a scene being caused, right? I love that he goes, I firmly said, not a chance, quote. So he just tells her not a chance, which, by the way, you can imagine the girlfriend was like, what did he just say to me? Like,
you need to say something to your friend.
So it says, it seems this request agitated the girlfriend and said, it says that her response really agitated the host, and he refused and suggested that she could eat all the other dishes that he had prepared, The girlfriend got it. So, which is, by the way, is true. Before I move on, isn't it true? He could literally say, okay, you might want your steak burnt, but this piece of steak is very expensive. It's A5 Wagyu, by the way. Don't know if I've mentioned it. But by the way, there's salmon and jerk chicken and mandarin duck. And by the way, there's side dishes. There's all the other side dishes.
How big was this girl?
She was a little hefty.
Okay. I didn't mean to ask that, but I was guessing.
Okay, so here's where the story turns, I think, from an uncomfortable argument with the new girlfriend that's coming by to it's starting to get cranked up a notch, because it says the girlfriend got angry and took matters into her own hands by grabbing the entire plate of meat and rushing into the kitchen and throwing it in the microwave and hitting 1 minute.
Oh my God. And this is because of reality TV. Okay, keep going.
Yes. Says this is when the conflict really escalated, because the host then opened the microwave, tried to grab the plate out, and the woman tried to shove it back in, saying, "You're going to try and kill us all."
Wow.
He says a well-done steak means that you've just ruined the meat, and it's basically a hockey puck, a quote from him. It says, in the process, the steak that was on the plate fell to the ground, and the dog raced in and immediately picked it up and took off running with it.
Dog knows quality.
Yes. By the way, I would have the funnier part if you would have added in the story, and then the dog turned around and said, needs to be browner or black on the inside.
Too rare.
So it says, so think about it. Once again, now imagine you're in this guy's position now. The girlfriend has there's now been a little bit of a physical altercation, and the steak that you just paid $200 for, which, by the way, you're crazy. You save the $200 steak for yourself. You don't serve that at a dinner party. That's
$79 a pound.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. It says she got angry and said it was her steak and she should have it how she liked. I told her that there were plenty of other meats as well as a plethora of side dishes that she could have, but her steak was not going to be made well done in my house. She said, "You are a fucking asshole," end quote. Oh. Then she got up and started. Oh, this is the microwave part. That was what she said when she got up to stick it in the microwave.
Which is another metaphor. Stick it in the microwave.
Stick it in the microwave with my dry aging. He said he's in reference to the dogs eating the steak. It says, my dogs quickly got to it, and I said, well, at least someone got to enjoy good steak before you turned it into shit. Once again, I'm starting to come around on this guy a little bit. I didn't like him in the first paragraph, but now I'm kind of coming around. So basically, just to kind of sum up the rest of the story, the altercation continues. There is shoving back and forth. The oddest part about this whole thing to me is it says they sat down and continued and finished the meal.
What?
Yes.
Kick her ass out.
So they sat down, finished the meal. Then the friend got up and left. And it says, since then, the friend has defriended him on Facebook and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. They stopped calling each other and have not talked since then. Even though the friend has since broken up with the new girlfriend, it has ruined the friendship. So the question becomes, who do you think is most at fault here? We have three people in this equation. I'm going to say four people or groups in this equation. Number one,
I don't think A5 grade steak is a person. So
I don't think it is. It's even though it is A5 Wagyu steak. I don't know if you know. I think one of the options are the rest of the friends at the party. I think could you lay any blame on them for not stepping and saying anything? Number one. Number two, do you blame the girlfriend who did all this? Do you blame the boyfriend, the friend who brought her, or do you blame the host? So that's four options. Who do you think is most at fault here?
I blame the person that named it a Friendsgiving. It sounds like everybody hated everyone. No, I don't blame anybody that was there necessarily, because
but wouldn't you have spoken up? If you would have said something in this, if this lady would have been doing this, wouldn't you have been like, hey, new girl, how about you chill the F out and eat some of this other stuff?
Yeah, go yourself away from here if you don't want to eat this steak. Yes. That doesn't make any sense. No,
I appreciated your attempt, though.
I would have talked some shit to her, and then I would have just been like, then eat everything else. Don't worry about it. Like this, you got here invited the last minute, because Eric brought you, dickhead.
Yeah, that asshole.
But the boyfriend for not saying anything.
Yeah,
is a total douche,
because he let it ruin a friendship.
Oh yeah, what he did. Yeah, he did. And then when and I knew when that, I've seen stuff like that before. They ain't gonna be together long. Like if somebody treats your friends like that you've been friends with forever before, you even met this person, you won't be dating him for long. So yeah, he totally screwed that up. That's fun though.
It's really sad though, but I love the fact that the dog came by and ate it. That's such like out of like a comedy movie.
Family Guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly something like that, which I absolutely love. But I thought that was funny. And I love the fact that this guy went from someone I really didn't want to hang around. Like, I don't think I could be friends with someone who's that obsessive about something like that. But at the same time, I kind of like how he stood his ground and was like, no, you're not going to do that in my house.
Especially
not with this steak.
Especially since he cooked salmon, duck, and jerk chicken also.
Right. By the way, that's why I think I was originally going to give some blame to the host, right? At least some.
Yeah.
But then I thought to myself, if he was only serving the steak, I think he should have allowed her to, fine, let it be. But I think his point where he really won me over, where he was like, do you not see this gigantic spread that I cooked? Like, please eat anything else. If you don't like the steak that much, don't eat it. But it was just, I think she just wanted the steak and was like, oh, but I want it burnt.
Yeah, she wanted it her way and nobody's other way. This is her world. We live in her world, and she watches way too much reality TV show. And honestly, I want to punch her.
Yeah, and you're right about the friend. I think the friend that brought her is the most at fault, because at a certain point he needs to tap her foot under the table and kind of whisper in her ear and be like, "Hey, just chill, just leave it,
text
just
her.
let it be."
She'll look at it.
Yeah.
Text her, be like, "Shut up, you stupid."
All right, man. Well, that's the end of the SMRT and the end of our episode.
Is it?
Or is it not?
We'll go to thisisfooter.com and find out right now. But you know what's funny is that I figured I would just push this button since we started it this way.
Sales from the cheap.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.